Hello. I have been following your channel for a few weeks now, after a colleague suggested that I listen to your content to perhaps get an idea of what it is that I encountered. I have never believed in the supernatural or cryptids, but I'm at a loss of what happened to me. A little background. I'm a 15-year veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces. I have been deployed overseas multiple times, to which I have been shot at many times. I do not get shaken easily in high-stress situations, and am not prone to panic. On top of this, I have also been camping since I was 9 years old, and by 15, solo camping for extensive periods. I have camped in every season, and have had many encounters with wildlife, such as wolves, black and brown bears, cougars, lynx, moose, etc. Just to give you an idea. I'm telling you all of this to give you a reference to not only my credibility and my experience, but my ability to keep calm under pressure. I have told very few people the events of what truly happened, as I wish to keep what I can of my career. So, with that said, you can share this story with whoever you think might be able to help. But please, keep my email and personal info confidential. I don't want to be posted all over social media. So, to what happened. I have been going to the same property in Temagami for the past 25 years. This is a large acreage that backs onto Crown land that was owned by my late grandfather. There is a lake on this property that I have enjoyed for not only its peace and quiet, but simply its beauty. On October 9th, 2020, I traveled here for 1 week camping, before the winter hit. I typically come here twice a year, but this year, due to COVID-19, I did not get a chance until October. I arrived early in the day, and as usual, unlocked the gate and drove in the 2 kilometers, or for those counting miles, 1.24 miles. It's an old logging road, and I rode it to its end, where I got out, grabbed my gear, a 12-gauge semi-automatic shotgun. Note, I only brought the shotgun due to it being fall, and the black bears around here have a tendency to get a bit aggressive as it's closing in on their hibernation. I left my truck for the 1.5 kilometer hike, or 1 mile hike, to the lake. The day went great. I arrived, set up my camp. The woodpile from the year before was still piled neatly, and I enjoyed the remainder of the day, just relaxing outside. As it grew dark, I sat by the fire, just appreciating the quiet. As I got up to get ready to turn in for the night, I swear, out of the corner of my eyes, I saw 2 red dull lights, about 6 to 7 feet high. When I turned my head to look, there was nothing, but I immediately had the hair on the back of my neck standing up, which at the time I shook off as just getting cold, and the dull lights, a trick of my tired, weary eyes. I proceeded to dampen the fire to go to the bathroom and get in my tent. As I lay down and turned out the light, I noticed how unusually quiet the night was. While it was fall, there still is some usual bird activity, still, and other noises. But tonight, just a very light wind, and the quiet sound of small waves gently hitting the shore. After a while, I fell asleep, but I was awoken a few hours later. I was not sure why I woke. I checked my GPS and noted it was 1:14 a.m. I then lay there for a few minutes, just relaxing, listening. At first, I heard nothing, but then I heard what I can only describe as a low, deep growl from my left 8 o'clock position. I sat up, turning my head to listen. I then hear leaves crunching, moving from my 9 o'clock towards my 11 o'clock. This movement ends with another low but deep growl. At this point, I am thinking it has to be a wolf. I proceed to gently slide out of my sleeping bag, pulling the shotgun to my side. I listen for a moment, and nothing, so I proceed to slide on my boots. I then hear another growl at my 11 o'clock again. This time, I yell to try and scare it off, or at least back. I am immediately met with what I describe as a loud, deep snarl. I immediately grab the shotgun, cocking the bolt and pointing towards the snarl. I turn on the flashlight on the gun and slowly but very cautiously unzip the door of the tent because I want eyes on the target, not firing blind. I sit in a kneeling position for at least 5 minutes. At this point, it's dead silent, but I don't hear anything, so I go to move out of the tent. I was probably no more than a quarter way out of the tent when something grabs my left arm, and it wasn't a bite. It was a grab, like it was a steel vise. It proceeds faster than I could process to pull me out and to the left of the tent. The shotgun goes off in a loud bang, and this creature or animal does what I best describe as a roar and scream, and starts swinging me around. I feel intense pain in my head, then nothing. Next thing I know, it's daylight out. I wake to severe pain on my left shoulder, which I am slumped against on the ground. I manage to sit up myself. I go to rub my left eye, which I can't seem to open, and am met with excruciating pain in my left arm. I look down with my open right eye to see my shoulder sitting a good 3 inches lower than it should be. I use my right arm to peel the caked blood out of my eyelashes of my left eye. At this point, I'm assessing the situation. The first thing I realize is I'm not near my campsite, and I could see drag marks from where I was obviously dragged through the forest. I do a quick look and feel over the rest of my body with my right hand. Everything is good, other than my left arm, and the massive cut above my left eye and upper scalp. Noting that I am not actively bleeding anywhere else, so I proceed to go get up. I check my GPS watch, which is thankfully on the right hand, so it's functioning. I am astonished to find that I am well over a kilometer or half a mile away from my campsite. At this point, I'm thinking that I cannot go back to the campsite, so I set my GPS to the truck, which thankfully is only about 750 meters away. Thank God for small miracles. As I start slowly walking, holding my left arm with my right, I get a constant feeling of being watched, which I don't know was just adrenaline or actually being watched. For the entirety of the walk, the forest remains ungodly silent, and the feeling just will not shake. I arrive at my truck, and as I am getting in the truck, I hear this loud roar again. I grab the keys from the console and peel out of there, not caring for the suspension or anything else on my vehicle. I head to the nearest hospital, and after being told I require immediate surgery on my left arm and need to be moved to a better equipped hospital. On further examination, it is also found minor cuts on my hand, neck, and face. The cut on my forehead and scalp was glued, as it was too late to stitch close. So yeah, it's now a really nasty scar. I have a major concussion, and my lower left forearm is massively bruised, with a bruise that is 6 inches wide and wraps around my entire forearm. No puncture made. Key note here. After the surgery, where they fix extensive damage to most of the torn muscle in my shoulder joint and repair cartilage damage, the very best they can, the police arrive to take a statement. Their results, bear attack. A freaking bear attack, and my arm has no puncture marks. Seriously? Last I checked, Unless this bear had no teeth, or it had hands rather than paws, there's no way it's a bear. Within a few days, both my brother and father went back to the campsite. They found it completely destroyed. The tent, pack, clothes, sleeping bag, all shredded. The shotgun stock split in half and barrel bent to almost a 90-degree angle. My cast iron frying pan bent on a 45-degree angle. The woodpile was thrown around everywhere. My brother and father said they didn't see or hear anything, but the entire time they were there, they too felt like they were being closely watched by something. Side note, both of them are also avid hunters. None of my family has ever felt the feeling like they were in unwanted territory at this point. That's how my father described it, like they were unwanted at this property, that they were wanting to get out. To date, I am slowly making a recovery, but have a permanent mobility loss of 30% and constant nerve pain from this. My career is now limited, and I am clueless to what really happened. I've never been afraid of the forest, but I do dread going back there and have nightmares almost nightly now, so I have to take medication to sleep. If you or anybody else has any ideas, please let me know, as at the very least, I want to know what might have attacked me, and why. Why did it let me live?